afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master, your God Emperor of Mankind. Off here to a riveting, amazing 1 vs 1 on Arnhem checkpoint. Yes, indeed. We're off to the checkpoint of war. The setting is 1944, the Eastern Front. The Red Army rolls ahead here under the command of Refero, fighting here for the Soviet Union Socialism. Taking on the role of the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps tasked with shattering the fascists here under the command of Helpinghans, fighting here for the 561st Volksgrenadier Division here, utilising the Osttruppen stand-ins for the Volksgrenadiers and the Wehrmacht, with triple infantry bulletins here. And you forward to Osttruppen, no infantry company, so in this case Hans will be focusing on just hitting the field as fast as possible. He's not too worried about any sort of light vehicles here from Refero, he's got plans for dealing with them. In the south here, Refero is going for a special command start with penal troopers, possibly anticipating such a start there from Hans, in which case, of course, scout casting penal troopers can somewhat punish Hans depending on how Hans plays. Though, of course, if not, he might be in some trouble there, in which case Hans can actually see so much more of the territory, which is kind of thing about Osttruppen. It allows you to just move out and seize a lot of ground very fast, plus, of course, allows you to play sort of much more numbers game as the Wehrmacht, which can give you some edges there as well if you know how to utilise them correctly. And Hans is probably one of the players who knows the most about Osttruppen, to be honest, so it's only an interesting gambit here that the Refero's got going on, so in that way try and counter Hans's Osttruppen strategies. We've got 3 Osttruppen squads here so far, moving here aggressive for the center, MG42 opening up in the church, but then engineers quickly fall out the back door, no intention of fighting out here with Hans. Penal coming in here, might be hoping that Hans is going to try and rush the church and then catch the penal, or the Osttruppen out with the penal troopers. The SVT-40 similar to Malta there, quickly popping down poor Ludwig there, leaving him quite dead by the wall. Other unit falling back there, but they're already taking heavy damage. The thing about Osttruppen is they're very much reliant on cover because A, they're absolutely terrible outside of cover, not just because they hit terribly outside of it, but they also have so many penalties against them. They're actually incredibly easy to kill outside of cover. That's another reason that keeping them. You can see is quickly falling back using the houses. Note both players making sort of very active use of the house there to quickly move troops back and forth. But also, yes, you know, to sort of slightly play around with their opponents. Troops in the east and the west here as well. We got more people from away there for Jarl Refero and the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps, which is yet to commit to a doctrine. We got the Osttruppen occupying the church, kicking in doors, throwing over altars and whatnot. Osttruppen from the north here. Hans could possibly go for a 4th Osttruppen squad, which is what most players would do. Though, of course, we could also consider on the machine gun. He could technically go for both. But there you go, more people are ramming him, moving forward, sitting up here around the centre victory point to back up the troops. Noting again, active machine gun usage here, rather than just in one spot. Hans is always on the lookout for his Maschinengewehr to gloriously support his frontline Truppen against the vile Bolshevist foe. Hans is ceaseless, restless, determined to fight until the bitter end. Not the better end. I suppose, hopefully, he is hoping for a better end for his troops. But anyways, in these Osttruppen as engineers, though, technically would get maybe stand a chance that they're that close, maybe not. More people were there for Refero. Engineers flanking up the MG42, trying to do some damage against the MG42 crew. People were doing on the counter at the church. So far, Hans has got the lead thanks to the aggressive Osttruppen start. And noting he's actually floating a bit of manpower here. So either he's been too caught up in the front line here and Refero's antics, or Hans has got some another level of play. We got flamethrowers as well, could possibly punish Hans here for the MG42 inside the house. Small chance of getting a wipe, that would be huge. Almost got the MG42, but Hans is managing there to get it out. That was incredibly close, and honestly, Hans might have just gotten a bit lucky there with it. Bunker up here for Hans, take up down there for Hans as well, so he's probably planning a fast take up into a flame for a half track, which is a strategy that Hans kind of pioneered. Is the Osttruppen built into flame for a half track, so. And it's one I imagine he still likes to go for. So we've got the light mechanized company up here for Hans. Pioneers how to work. Medics on the way there as well. Machine gun reinforcing. Osttruppen getting out there. And we can see the Refero's moving on to every cough point. He's moving to every vital point there to basically slow down Hans's resource income. Put up as aggressive as possible. And then use other troops to link up. Grab territory here. The Hans, of course, is also doing a good job. They're harassing Refero. Trying to build up as much in edge there in terms of resource as well. So obviously we got the fuel wars between these two excellent, highly skilled players. Bit of skirmishing Osttruppen pushing back in years. Onwards, men, we shall do this, but we've barely been trained in this. Stop believing in such petty things as training. Believe in spirit. Isn't that what the Italians tell their troops? Shut up. And that is technically what the Italians did. In fact, a lot of the Italian troops did not receive a large amount of training. It was very much machismo and such. Kind of the same thing with the Japanese. They didn't rely a lot on training either, such more just raw discipline. Of course, that units were training. So, you know, fun notes. They obviously, the forces in theory was supposed to be, you know, trained and all that, but the case wasn't there. They didn't have the time for it. In many cases were rushed out. Half-track and that for Hans. That's going to be upgraded in a few seconds here with a flame for a half-track. At least, I'm pretty sure most people would be surprised if it didn't. And there we go. As soon as the munitions counter hits 90, Hans, with the speed of 1,000 bees, hits it. Also moves the penal troops there. Nice broadside here from the back end of the cafe there, unleashing hell upon the penal troops. They're quickly forcing them out. In the south, we got flame moving forward. We probably see more flamethrowers here for Refero. In fact, we got a third engineer squad for Refero. Probably realizing he needs a lot of flamethrowers against this. Pietro, we need more fire. Are you feeling cold? No, but the fascists are. Are we trying to bomb them? Idiot. And his troops are flanking about here, but Refero making some good infantry moves there. Of course, at the same time, Hans is using his troops to keep things going as well. And there you go, flame for half-take arriving, leaving Refero's penal troop is very, very warm. And there goes that charge off. Sucker boyat! He gets the machine gun, but he almost put up his own penal troopers. That would have been gruesome if he'd managed to blow them up. Right now, of course, Refero's got a bit of an issue. He's got a flame for half-take on his tail, and he's got absolutely no counter. This is part of the Helpinghans' flame for a half-take strategy. Just rush out as fast as possible because it can really do a lot of damage if you do not have any counters to it. In particular, at the base where units tend to sort of bunch up right in front here with the sort of designated retreat area. In that case, you can do some serious damage. Machine gunner did manscape, but he did lose a Osttruppen squad here to Refero, so Hans actually really short in front on him right now versus Refero. And the whoa, he's going for double flame for half takes. Hans is basically committing to it fully. He's all in for the incendiary strategy here. Nope, goes for the 2-2 instead, possibly realizing there's a thing as too much stuff on fire. Instead, opting for other mobile elements, possibly to help support versus other things. Maybe light vehicles in case Refero decides to push for some sort of T-75, in which case the flame for half-tech is pretty much toast. But there you go, Hans wants being pushed back, and with lacking infantry elements for the time being, it's going to be a bit harder to contest the field, plus the flame for half-tech is also going to be off. But of course, once he gets back to the field, the Refero's going to be in a bit of a sticky situation again, so he's going to have to bring up some counters, mines, guardsmen, lots of things there. Hans following up here with the Panzer's going to deal it. Very good, very good. Usually any sort of decent Osttruppen strategy will at some point involve Panzer gun deals, since they kind of work outside of cover much better, plus they can sort of better clear out support weapons and the likes. So whereas then the Osttruppen to basically hold the line, keep the enemy tied down, then use the Panzer gun deals like more like a scalpel or a knife to sort of hit them when they aren't looking, because they're too busy with the Osttruppen. Anti-tank rounds going up here for Refero. In the west we got the 2-2 moving in here. Lots of barbed wire there from Refero to make sure Hans in absolutely no way gets used to the sandbags. No fascists allowed. But that's mine sandbags. Not anymore, fascist. I'm telling the Führer. 2-2 moving about. They got the flame for half moving up in the east. Take up there going for Refero. He knows that hope lies in the T-70 and its tiny tower shape. 2-2 running covering far here. Panzer is they have arrived for Helpinghans for the fatherland. Going up through the center here. The Sturmgewehrs loaded. With lead. Flame for after moving up here. Swinging back through the east. The Pioneers backing them up. Panzergrenade advancing with their Sturmgewehr 44s. In fact, by the end of the war, they were actually sort of beginning to prepare for the Sturmgewehr 45 or 45, but it never really got into production. Those series of models that were made, ready to be assembled, but beyond that, they never even got to try them seriously. Still would have been a improved design overall on the Sturmgewehr 44. Is that it? Oh, fun note there. 2-2 current fire. They've got the T-70 halfway done there for Refero. Penals were doing what they can against the light vehicles. But right now, Hans is once more on the offensive, once more got Refero on the back foot. We might also see some supply drops here to run with fuel, machine guns, anti-tank guns, munitions, all of those things, trying to further take advantage of this sort of lead he's got by his aggressive tactics to keep Refero on the defensive. So we'll see where this ends up. But the T-70 is arriving, and there we go. We do get a supply drop here 561st receives air support here. Air dropping in a lot of stuff there. Got the T something out here for Refero. I'm not entirely sure we could have airdropped a pack forward. That's more sort of like something for a glider, in which case you'd probably actually use one of their very big gliders. And the Germans had some very big ones. T-70 doing what they can, another one kill. Going after the MD-42 there, carried by Osttruppen, who are desperately trying to hold the way here. So back here there'll be another machine gun there for Hans, doubling the number, plus the Pack 40. And of course illumination, of course, will assist him in either taking for tier 3 or tier 4. That way further putting pressure on Refero. Oh, Telemine! His T-70 Benedict anything got taken out by Telemine. The engineers from the minesweepers were so close. You could almost call them, oh, so compliant. We should have gone ahead. Well, I guess they've gone ahead. To hell now. Those were our guys, you idiot. Oh, right. Oh, quite a blow there, and certainly highlights just the power of well-placed T-70 actually close to what your opponent considers his territory. It can have really surprising effects, as most people never consider mines there. So, some good mind play there by Helpinghans, showing that mind games are mind games. That's damn well quality pun there from the master of propaganda. I'm amazed at myself. There should be some commentary on just some of the, puns I make. Anyways, Indians need to fall back in the face of the Osttruppen up the western side here. Pack machine guns here sweeping forwards. Hans is taking no chances. Every corner is covered by a machine gun. Back here we got back tech from Refero having to go for a field gun after his T-70 ended up acting as a self-propelled mine sweeper and mine detonator. So there you go, MD-42 moving up, MD-44 covering from the northern restaurant, providing a nice cover there. Also an in-depth defense, making it much harder for Refero to just sweep the position by just cleaning one machine gun up. There'll be the other one there, so it becomes a much tougher nut to crack there for Refero. And of course he's going to have to consider some other tactics if he wants to deal with it. Worth noting here, of course, he's actually focusing a lot on the centre, not so much on the sides, whereas Hans, while he is posting the centre, is also making very good progress on the sides as well. So in this regard, Hans is also, I think, displaying some good tactical skills here versus Refero, but Refero does seem to be struggling a bit to keep pace with that. And probably should be doing something to sweep back the sides. In particular, the fuel wall stays going to be really critical here versus Hans. Hans on Android taking up, yes indeed. Field grenades going on the flame after you can't get rid of so that would be huge for Refero and Airgun machine gun on the church. And of course got the MD-34 here, making much harder to sweep behind the MD-42. So we'll have to see how Refero answers an Airgun double flame from the MD-42. Likely not going to get it wide. Oh no, he does get it this time around, and it turns into a bit of a oven there, scorching the MD-32. Now there's just the MD-34 left to deal with, but again, resource-wise, Hans is going to be pulling ahead there with 3 times as much fuel per minute than Refero. Plus again, Hans is yet to lose a single vehicle, whereas again, Refero lost his T-70 to Telemine. Gets the other machine gun though. This is really good, really strong assault tactics there, of course, from Refero. And getting rid of both machine guns is going to be a huge impactful element here for Refero, as it means there's not to really hold back his infantry, and he can use his penal troopers much more aggressively. That also leaves really the Pentagon is the only thing besides the vehicles in the deal seriously with the infantry, and of course the vehicles will struggle with the anti-tank rifles. But Refero going for armoured assault, will obviously be planning for the IS-2, or he was going to go for T for the 45s. Either way though, he's spreading out aggressively like a hammer and sickle. He just sweeps and goes for every sort of vital point. He cuts off as much as he can while trying to seize as much as he can as well, trying to rebalance the resources. So Pommerkorps being laid down here by Helpinghans by the 561st Infantry Division. We're seeing more and more support here from the nearby 23rd Panzer Division. Mortar needs reposition, so he's brought up there as well. Though now with both machine guns gone, the mortars are going to be less immediately necessary, but doesn't mean it's going to be useless. And good chance of getting the field gun as he gets bad luck now. Gets away. Gets away. Does he actually mine the centre? I think the Refero would benefit a lot from a few mines to catch vehicles, but also slow down any sort of attacks from Helpinghans. Either though, Refero is sweeping the territory here, moving ahead. Gloriously so, he's brought up a second field gun, which certainly to me at least looks like a stall plan then. Double-ended tank guns usually tries to indicate you're stalling for something bigger, rather than say medium tank. So in this case, IS-2s, if Hans were to go for double pack forces, of course, that means he'd like to be aiming for Panthers or Sturmpanzers. But he's got the Pommerkorps, so most likely here Hans is feeling in a very comfortable position, enjoying a nice glass of schnapps. and aiming for a Panzer IV. Panzer moving forward. Engineers almost taken out here though. Pretty close for Refero. He's got one minesweepers, caught 2 flamethrowers. And of course double flamethrowers can be quite effective as we saw there. Taking out in this case both of Helpinghans' machine guns. And there you go. Hans bringing up the Panzer camouflaging field to back up the 561st. People there being engaged. Pioneers moving up here to support. Hans is taking no chance with might here from Refero, despite Refero's not laid down any. But a good player tends to leave as little as possible to chance as possible. Telemounts up for Hans as well. There we go. Good spot. Good spot. Thorough, mindful play there. Flamethrower bringing it into the Panzer Grenadier, being swept back here by a well-laid assault rifle fire. People doing against the advancing Panzer Grenadier. The Panzer almost done here. Could pop a satchel charge, maybe flash out the fascists, deny them the church. Of course, if Refero wants to use the church himself, that's obviously going to be less useful for him. There you go, flamethrowers added again. Panzer's almost wiped out. Panzer IV arriving. Refero should be aware of this, and again, hitting the car on there, slowing down Refero's fuel income. Hans just keeps up the pressure, keeps up the momentum. Also uses his light vehicles, I think, quite expertly there to keep Refero unbalanced. A bit on the defensive as well there. Even in some ways, he doesn't have nearly as many troops in some ways. He's making, shall we say, like moving pieces wise. He's making good use of the vehicles that way. Keep Refero sort of corralled in. He's like a sheepdog, and Refero his sheep to an extent. Anyways, Panzer 1 needs to be careful. Need to grab that car front back as well. Refero though is being a bit more aggressive, a bit more assertive versus Hans now. He's had enough of his fascist shenanigans. Back here, troops healing reinforcing. Part of me wants to say a bit more infantry, but still, I mean, technically he has 3 squads. He does have the Panzer Grenadier, which you do feel like a unit that is overlooked, but it's nice to see someone like Hans make use of them. Machine on the way there for the Panzer IV, adding a bit of extra anti-infantry firepower. Very good upgrade there. Very good. The Maxim's out here for Refero. Mortar firing down, Pioneers maintain that. Figures they get a good hit on the Panzer IV, penetrating the side armour, which I believe was somewhere around, I think it was 60 or 40 millimeters, maybe actually just 30 millimeters. Yeah, probably around, I think, 30 to 40 millimeters of armour there. Second Panzer squad there for Hans. So he does go for another one, and again, 2 Panzer Grenadier squads will give him quite a bit of assault capability there versus Refero. Make it much easier to sweep through and make off some good flanks. So, good choice there, I would say, by Helpinghans. Appreciating the power of the Panzer Grenadiers. Mortar hitting the Osttruppen, almost taking them out. Back here, troops in reinforcing for Refero. He's actually going to be falling behind on infantry in particular. He's not going to be having a lot of infantry that's just fully anti-infantry. Like, 2 of these squads have been equipped with anti-tank rifles, which does mean he will be more vulnerable to a few good Panzer Grenadier pushes in that sense. He does have many, say, access to guardsmen, so he's also a bit undergunned there. So it's going to have to rely, I think, a bit on the Maxims there as well to keep Hans's Truppen at bay. And there you go, going for the carve point. The T-70 acting by as perfect cover there to harass him. In this regard, the Telemann placement actually just ends up being a double whammy there for Hans. Not only did he take out a T-70 provide its heavy cover in such a manner that Hans can grab the point easily and use the tank as heavy cover for it. Brilliant. Back here, troops healing reinforcing there for Helpinghans. Obviously, I don't know that's the intent, but it sure as hell worked out like that. Flamecraft moving up here for Helpinghans, sweeping forwards, and to tank penalties when they're nearby, but still they might struggle a bit, in particular the ones without them, and with also low in health, in fact getting wiped there. Quite a blow there to Refero, a tactical victory there for Hans. That's going to force Refero to, pour man-pounds and that's enough. And there you go, Panzer sweeping through the west side here, leaving Refero short on infantry. Possibly some engineers that could get wiped out. Got the field hammer binding, and oh, half health but no wipe. First one there, the Panzer Grenadier's final resting place would have been a ditch somewhere in the eastern or western Ukraine. More penalties was plus in squad, more there for Refero, and also smart for units, and we got Hans here. Basically further just building on the momentum, going there to push for tier 4. and which is actually increasingly becoming a part of the meta. There's really just been a big move towards tier 4 from a lot of Armoured players as of late. Usually they will actually go for the Sturmpanzer first, that way just try and dominate infantry, because the Sturmpanzer is pretty good at dealing with infantry and support weapons, so unless they're breeding the bad spot tank-wise, we'll usually aim for the Sturmpanzer first. Like, say, even just one tank, the Sturmpanzer isn't immediately threatened, unless the player does something silly, so they can still try and push an anti-infantry advantage while backing it up with other things. So I'm guessing that Hans is going to be going for the Sturmpanzer, so that way storm Refero's positions and blows infantry into tiny bits. Plus, of course, it additionally allows him to upgrade his Osttruppen with light machine guns, further enhancing his firepower versus Refero, which certainly has advantages. Well, we can see Refero is now establishing the centre as a strong point, a fortified region. A mustache of stone, I don't know. Panzer they're pushing back, the penal troopers there. Well laid assault rifle fire there, forcing them back. Pack 40 hanging back, their troops in reinforcing. We got the 2-2 on the way in the flank, probably setting up for some shenanigans there. Might be anticipating something like CoH2 spells can just sweep in, do some stuff there against the Refero if necessary, so it can easily be just a simple disruptor. So sending some interesting moves there by Hans. Mines being swept here by Refero. Also got a demo charge in the house there to blow it up in case Hans tries anything funny with that house again. Good with the playing the field gun, being good using. In this case, again, as you might notice, it's forcing Refero to shift his field guns away from the front line to deal with the 2-2 behind him. That, of course, then creates an opening for other vehicles to rush in. This is actually a really strong move there by Hans. On the other hand, now got stuck there with the anti-tank charges, leaving his Panther on a bad spot. But even then, he got one field gun crew pretty easily. But he might have extended a bit, perhaps not quite anticipating the depth of Refero's defences, or his ability to defend himself. Either way, got the flamethrower effect finally. Big win there for him. But even then, I would say that was really well executed there by Helpinghans, and certainly also just highlights another element to flanking, the disruptive element of flanking. As again, all of a sudden he was pointing everything to deal with the 2-2 behind his lines, which again meant the front was open. So good play there by Hans, but a few accidents happened there, and the ref was able to sort of hit back at Hans and punish him. And he at least got rid of the flame for half tech, which actually is pretty big for him. We got probably another supply drop here for Helpinghans. More munitions, more fuel, and another machine gun. Plus, of course, another pack 40. Further line towards the stall fort, and there you go, harassment in the east. So even as, Refero is being drawn into the west, Hans strikes in the east. Absolutely excellent tactical play there by Hans. A good feeling on his opponent's movements. And, looking out as a strike here and there. Well played. Osttruppen laying down sandbags, part of the entrenching tools ability of the Osttruppen doctrine. You don't actually get to see that one a lot, a bit like in the artillery field officer, but Hans is clearly making use of it. Sehr good. Noting both Osttruppen squads have been upgraded with machine guns. Pushing for the center, our Panzer are going to be moving about their half-8 to infantry 1. Refero is actually not too far from the IS-2. He's almost got. He actually has the fuel. He just needs the manpower and the command point. So not bad there at all. Hans is yet. Oh, there we go. Building the heavy Panzer Corps. Again, most likely he's going to go for the Sturmpanzer 4 unless Refero pushes out the IS-2 before that, in which case he could go for the Panther to counter that one. Also worth noting, he's actually floating a lot of munitions. In that regard, I do think Hans would benefit from S-mines or more telemines than just slow down the Refero, rather than just floating 500 munitions. That does seem, shall we be, a bit on the excessive side. Seem a bit there. Yeah, but anyways, heavy Panzer Corps down there for Helpinghans. Refero is moments away from the IS-2, the Josef Stalin 2 tank. Oh, he did it, Panzer Corps down to half health. Nice setup there by Refero. He is super close to the IS-2, he is incredibly close. And also in good control of part of the map, victory points wise. He's actually ahead of Hans as well, so I'd say Refero has slowly been able to stabilize and now go for the IS-2. They should afterwards tag up. He shouldn't just be lying versus the IS-2 versus Hans. And there we go. Josef Stalin 2 tank arriving. And that will most likely then prompt Hans to go for a Panther. I mean, he could still go for the Sturmpanzer, but I'd say with the nice 2 out, he might want to consider a Panther instead. Panzer goes in here, there's the mortar crew there landing it straight in the midst of it. Very nice throw there by Hans, takes out the entire lot, but there you go, eyes to him, up, penalty opening up as well. Hans knows it's there, we've got artillery called in here. Question is, he's calling in the church, so he's going to clear out Refero's central strong point. He does see it, does begin pulling away, but will it be in time, will it be in time? Direct hit on the church. Throws out a huge chunk of debris, and he's actually going for the Sturmpanzer. Hans is even with the nice 2 about, not feeling particular pressure, probably because not dealing with more than one tank, so he's probably thinking he could get away with just, you know, the Pax and the Panzer IV to stall it, and then use the Sturmpanzer IV to remove the support for the IS-2. A bold tactical and strategic choice there by Hans, but I guess if someone could pull it off, it would be Helpinghans. IS-2 running back, he got the Panzer IV following up here, hot on the heels, Sturmpanzer almost done. Directly on the Osttruppen, taking out half the squad. Not a big loss there to Helpinghans. Back here, troops hitting reinforcing for Refero, engineers setting out. And there you go, Sturmpanzer 4. The Brummbahn part of the name, by the way, is actually a misattribution. That's something the Allies called it. The Germans would have called it the Stupa, which is just an abbreviation of Sturmpanzer. Little fun fact there. Directly on the IS-2 with the Panzer IV, of course, the shot bounces. The IS-2 had pretty solid frontal armour. Osttruppen between the engineers got the IS-2 running back here, mortar recruit, but an engineer standing in the pieces of former mortar crewmen. Decent hit on the Osttruppen, gets Port Otto, but nothing further. IS-2 shoots again, then it's a decent hit. What will Refero go for next tech up? Will he go for H-6s to back up the IS-2? He definitely should, I think, get more supporting elements for the heavy tank there out of the way. As for Hans, I'd imagine the Panther's going to be next on the priority list, though. Theoretically, if he wants to, he can go for another Sturmpanzer and just, completely ignore it and just shatter everything else Refero has. It'd be somewhat, again, bold, but it could work out. In fact, he's going for Panzerjäger, see, and one of his Panzergrenadier squads to add further to the anti-tank complement he's got here to deal with the IS-2. Max opening up and going to be finding himself a victim here of the Sturmpanzer. Poor Yuri obliterated the rest of the crew covered in Yuri and Yuri's ribs. I got a rib in my rib. You got a what? Yuri's rib is in my ribs. It hurts. She's really dealing with the field gun and not particularly well. In fact, in the same way that a Mars would deal with a cat. Getting mauled. Began to tank robs the entrance of the church. Looked like someone did not get on time. In fact, Refero is down to just one penalty per squad. Those are some heavy infantry losses. Comparatively, Hans actually serves infantry quite well here versus Refero. Refero going for the T-center to make up for the infantry issues in some ways at least. Perhaps we'll be trying to buy out some Hans stuff, though of course it does mean that Refero is not going to be taking up. Pan's going to be there by the veterans in fleet. Very closely between the two, 300 versus 306. Panzer will take a hit from the IS-2. Panzer IV shoots, penetrates the IS-2's armour. Pack 40 lands a good hit as well. And there you go, T-72 here for Refero. Hopefully that does not hit a Tellermine courtesy of Helpinghans in the German army, but it does seem like Hans has ceased mining. Got the T's moving up again to the Osttruppen. Catching here by the car point, falls on them back with a few well-placed shots. Panzerschrecks flying through the air, screaming death. And the penal troopers, well, on tanks, they're less effective at it though. Field landing in the Panzer IV, Sturmpanzer and the machine gun, taking out almost the entire maximum crew, but getting hit there by the field guns. One bombarding, but there you go, getting bombarded, returning here by the Sturmpanzer, he's attempting to. Going for the Pack 40, chaos action ensues. T-some lands an excellent hit on the Osttruppen, was taking out an entire squad, in fact almost got them entirely wiped out, down to just two lonely men, finding a machine gun in the middle of nowhere. IS-2 going through the center again for the Pack 40, trying to silence it, and possibly the Sturmpanzer as a follow-up. Note, by the way, he orders it not to fire just to ensure he can actually get a shot off on the Pack 40 more properly, instead of just fires randomly. Artillery called in here to force Refero to either move ahead and split up from his units further, or, get out of there. Go straight into the Pack 40, but also flanking the machine in the process. wipes it, leaving Hans now without machining gewehren again, except the light ones. Almost got the Pack 40 here and gets it. Engineers moving forward, Sturmpanzer fires though, pushing in his way. Also gets a few kills, preventing Refero from immediately recruiting any of the weapons. We've got Panzerjägers and the Panzer going for the archer. The Armoured almost down here. Niet. And the IS-2 goes under the Panzer. A glorious strike here from Hans, leaving Refero now without any heavy armor here. The Panzer IV is on the field. Brutal stuff here. T-7 is almost knocked out. The Pioneers are going for the anti-tank rifle. But good use here of the Panzerjägers, the Panzer IV, and the Pack 40s here by Hans, taking out Refero's IS-2. Mortar fire raining down, T-7 coming up here as well, need to be careful with those Panzergrenadiere. And there you go, Gebalteladung on the bunched up Maxim crew. Almost taking out the entire lot, nicely thrown again. So I imagine Refero might try and stall for another IS-2. He could also consider maybe setting up for an Artillery attack at some point, and if he can grab the machine gun, that could also help Refero installing up some of Hans' infantry assaults. At this stage, I'd not be surprised to see Hans commit to another Sturmpanzer IV. I mean, he's just taking out the IS-2. No, he does go for the... No, counts it, goes for another Sturmpanzer IV. Like, at this stage, the chance of Refero going for another tank that could sort of seriously threaten him are very minimal. Again, the IS-2 just went down, and he hasn't gone for anything between that, usually indicating there's no tank up, meaning getting up any serious threat is actually really difficult for Refero. So another Sturmpanzer just to murder the infantry support weapons is a really good read there by Helpinghans, and could very well just completely wreck Refero. And the second guard's making a nice goal. Fixing up the field guns, very good work, machine gun crude. And there you go, Panther combo leaves Refero's T-70 a smouldering wreck, a devastating blow to Refero at this stage of the game. And second Sturmpanzer just about to arrive. First one there arriving at the front line now, blasting away. Direct hit here from the field gun on the Sturmpanzer, leaving a bit off, and there you go, bun grenade off again here. Hans throwing it like a goddamn hero, taking out the entire field gun crew. And that's just going to make double Sturmpanzer even more impactful, so it's going to have to recruit, but of course it's going to be a 3-man crew, which of course is going to be easy pickings for the Sturmpanzer if it gets off a proper hit. There we go, annihilates the entire crew, leaving Refero down to just one field gun again. Panther moving up with the Panzer support just in case some sort of armoured threat arrives. He's going to move down for here, he's going to flank the field gun while he's using Blitzkrieg to keep up the pace, adding pressure here to Refero, and of course just increasing chance of down the field gun, of course also creating opening for the Sturmpanzer. So again, really good attack here by Helpinghans once more, good coordination with his units, good flanking here. And good use of Blitzkrieg, really I would say throwing off Refero here quite aggressively, undermining his defense even further. Field gonna wipe for another time. Field gun there being recruited, noting he's using penal troopers, which is actually kind of expensive. Engineers being murdered here. At this stage, it is not looking good for Refero. I mean, in some ways still has a decent sized source, or sort of shows say on paper, but the reality is he's just so far behind Hans at this stage that his chance of winning this are minimal, particularly with double Sturmpanzers out and no immediate armor within sight. Units being obliterated here by the Sturmpanzers and the Panther IV. Direct here on the field guns. You could actually probably just go away bombarding, and there you go, GG, game over. Refero's forces lay devastated. The 561st Volksgrenadier Division with some armoured support here has held the line, hold the city, or at least what's part of it, and push back the second Guards mechanized corps. So a rather brutal fight here with some excellent play there from both sides. Good use of Osttruppen doctrine by Hans. Refero, which ultimately made him good pushes and good defence, but in the end though, the problem was for him, he was just not too focused I think on the resource and the assault, whereas Hans always had an eye for that, Also good game play there with the Telemann here. That's absolutely a game changer. Had he Refero not lost the T-zone, and they would have been able to put much pressure on Hans there, but instead he lost it so fast it just gave Hans further advantage, allowing him to just further pull ahead in terms of tech, alongside again Refero just not doing enough, sort of keeping the resources on his side. Then toss in losing the eyes too like that, and just overall slowly but surely Hans just build up control and dominance over Refero, that way beating into submission. So overall well played there were Hans and Refero, though again in the end Hans just played better. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. I would say there's a lot to learn here from both players. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, share it with everyone. This is Imperial signing off. See you all tomorrow for another episode. You're all a wonderful audience, and I hope to see you all again another time. Cheers.